morning. Let me see who's on. So we are on day 36 of lockdown yoga. Let's see who's going to join us today. Little pause while people find me. Hit the watch button. Good morning. Hey, is that Gillian watching? Looking at the profile pics. Hey Claire, yeah, I thought it was your profile pic, Gillian. Good morning, darling. Morning, Claire. Hey, how are you and Leon today, Claire? Enjoying the sun. Here's Sue from London and here's Judith. I'm getting good at these profile pics. I'm very impressed with myself. It's only taken me 36 days, hasn't it, to familiarise myself with these pics. Who's this one just joined? Can't see from here. I don't like to get too close to the camera because it's like, you know, it wouldn't be very pleasant for you. Sue, Enid and Jan, hello gorgeous ladies. Hi Frida, watching from Calpe. Judith Marriott, Jan McLean, yeah. All good, good Claire. Great, little superwoman. At least you get the sun on your walks now, Claire, hey? Good morning, Frida. Oh, sun is out. Morning, Valerie. So it looks like we've had a switch in the weather, so the UK have lost their sun, and it is finally, after 6 weeks, arrived in Spain. Never known anything like it these last 6 weeks, but it's here. Good morning, Anna Battley. Hi, darling. So I like this. We've got mum and daughters on in separate houses, and we've got sisters normally come on if Claire and Ali arrive and they're in different countries. That's nice, isn't it? Practicing yoga together but not. It's like down and in but out. Hi Joe. Hi Joanne. Nice. Hello. I love seeing these new names pop up as well. Right, so we've been going 6 weeks, so today is day 36. So this is our 36th yoga class. Wowza. So it looks like restrictions in Spain are going to start to be lifted a little bit. Morning Brenda, how are you darling? So we might, us adults, might be able to go for a walk soon. Hi Sylvia. We may be able to go for a walk. Wow, it's exciting, isn't it? So we might be able to take the dogs further than 2 minutes. Sneaky little walk. We're actually not meant to walk the dogs because we've got a garden. Keeping very local and just keeping on our hillside 5 minutes. But we might actually be able to go for a walk, and Mum and I might be able to go together because we live in the same house. Morning Caroline, so that's really exciting. So yeah, so little schedule of restrictions being lifted but no dates, so it's time scheduling. Confirm that our holiday to Italy has been cancelled in May. There's a surprise. So far I've had a trip to the UK for my Isogenics business cancelled, a trip to Ireland to practice with my teacher who was doing a European tour. He was coming over from India and he's going to do a European tour, so I was meant to be going to Ireland. Of course that was cancelled. And our holiday in Italy is cancelled, and it's quite probable that my big 50th birthday celebrations in June. So I don't think big group parties, group gatherings are going to be allowed on the 1st of June. So we'll see. Good morning Jane, how are you my lovely friend from across the road? Are you missing your walks and seeing the flowers? So beautiful, and the flowers start to come out this time of year. So what time are we? Got a few people on. Are we ready? 3 minutes past 10. Okay. Hey, if weather continues like this, might actually be able to get some yoga done outside. That would be nice. Obviously internet, being able to connect from those areas. So today we have got just a well-rounded yoga practice. So not focusing on any particular postures or any particular parts of the body, just trying to cover a little bit of everything. So starting off with our sun salutations, because they warm up the whole body, they start to get the circulation going, work all the major muscle groups, open up all the joints. So always trying to start with our sun cells. So we've got 3 rounds of sun cells, we've got some standing postures, we've got a balance in there, and then we've got some floor postures to do. So I'm trying to get a back bend in, a forward fold in, some twisting in. So just trying to get a whole well-balanced little practice today. So we are going to start on our feet for our sun salutations. Let's go. So I got loads of people message me about Tuesdays, Twisty Tuesday yoga. Everybody seemed to love that. Really opens up the body. It's actually my personal favourite of this whole lockdown series of classes. So it's definitely going to be coming in again next week. So just watch out for next Tuesday. If you enjoyed Tuesday's class, we'll repeat that because everyone seemed to love that. Okay, let's start facing the short edge of your mat for your sun salutations. Finding your posture. I'm just going to move this mat back a little bit so I don't go out of the screen. You'd think I would get this by now, don't you? Okay. So at some point you'll lose my head, that's okay. So lifting up through the spine, up through the crown of the head, just let those shoulders drop back and down. Just take a moment to find your place on your mat. So notice how you distribute the weight in your feet. So you don't want your knees rolling in, you don't want to come heavy on the inside of your feet. So just press in all 4 corners of the connection there in the. For those of you quite new to yoga, if maybe we try to practice yoga in bare feet. We want to feel that connection, that we don't slip on our mat. But also you want to be able to move your toes. So just feel that connection. Pelvic floor lifting. Belly is in. Inhaling, hands together, palms together, thumbs to the heart. Exhaling completely. Inhaling, soften those knees, lift those hip bones, lift the arms to the sky, lift the heart. Exhaling, hands to the floor, bend your knees as much as you need to. Bum lifts high. Right foot, step it as far back as it will go and drop that right knee to the floor. Lengthen up through the spine and let those hips drop forward. So like always, just taking this first full round nice and slow. Just feeling the opening in the joints, lifting up through the crown of the head. So even when we're here, don't forget your belly. We always want to be active from the pelvic floor. This means that during your practice, most of your breath is going to be through your chest, your collarbones, called clavicular breathing. So it's like thoracic breathing, clavicular breathing. So through the ribs and chest, because your belly is active throughout. Tuck those back toes, lift the knee, step the left foot back to join the right into your plank. Remember, we've got half plank available so the knees can come down to the floor, but keep engagement through the belly. Don't jump into the lower back. And then this little technique that we went through last week, just pushing forward so the shoulders come in front of the wrists. Drop the knees, squeeze the cage, and with control to the floor. Inhaling, slide that heart forward and up into your shoulders back and down, neck is long, pubic bone pressed down into the floor. Keep that lower back long and all 10 toenails pressed into the floor. Tuck the toes, lift the bum, downward dog. So it's our first downward dog, so we'll just walk it out a little bit, bending one knee and then the other knee, dropping one heel and the other heel. Just a little treading the feet on the spot, belly in. And then your right leg, you're going to lift those hips high, come up high on those left toes, use your belly muscles to keep control of that thigh, Step that foot through to the top of the mat. Left knee comes down. Lengthen the spine, lifting up through the crown of the head. Slurring my words today. I haven't been drinking, honestly. Just had my strawberry shake, that's all. Drop those hips down, lift the head. And back toes tuck under, lift that left knee, step the left foot to the right and use this exhale to fold deep. Belly, rib cage towards the thighs, relax the neck. On your inhale, press into your feet, lift your eyes, engage the belly, come all the way up to the top. Nice little back bend. Exhale, hands down to the sides. Inhaling, palms together. Exhaling. Inhaling, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fall forward. Left leg stepping back. Knee to the floor. Lengthen from the back of those toes, tailbone down, and up through the crown of the head. Right foot to step back to your plank. Engage those shoulders, so instability in your shoulders. Don't let these elbows out to the side. Turn the elbows towards the back of your mat. And a little shift forward, drop the knee, drop the chest. Inhaling, cobra. Exhaling for your downward dog. Tuck the toes, the hips. Take a couple of breaths here. Triceps, that muscle at the back of the arm, is going to turn it down towards the floor. At the same time, pressing the thumb side of the hand down into the floor. Left leg, come up high on those right toes, squeeze that left knee to the chest and step it through. Right knee to the floor. Few breaths. Going to go a bit faster after this one. Tuck those back toes, lift the knee, step it forward, forward fold. Inhaling, belly in all the way to the top. Exhaling, hands down to the sides. Inhaling, hands together. Exhale. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Right foot stepping back. Knee down, spine long. Left foot to step back to plank. Control the belly, stabilize the shoulders. So if you're trying to squeeze your rib cage, knees to the floor, lower the chest to the floor. You should feel your ribs on your inner arms as you lower down. Inhaling, cobra. Your cobra might be small, might be higher. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. Belly active, draw the lower ribs in and up. Right foot to step to the top of the mat, left knee down. And left foot to step forward into your forward fold. Inhaling all the way to the top. Exhaling, hands to the sides. Inhale, palms together. Exhale. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, lower. Left leg stepping back, knees down. And right leg stepping back to plank. Knees to the floor, chest to the floor. Cobra. Downward dog. Exhale, push into the hands, lift those hips. Left foot to step to the top of your mat. You still with me? Right foot to step forward, forward fold. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, hands to the sides. Last one, inhaling. When I say last one, we do right side and left side. Inhaling, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot to step back. Left foot to step back to plank. Knees, chest and chin to the floor. Inhaling, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot to step forward. And left foot to step forward. Remember, when you're coming up from your forward fold, push into those feet. Bring softness to your knees and engage your belly. All the way up. Exhale, hands down. Last one. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Left leg. And right leg stepping back. Knees down. Chest and chin. And cobra. Exhaling. Downward dog. Left leg. Stepping forward. Right knee to the floor. And right leg stepping forward. Keep that chest to the thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to lift your bum high. Inhaling. Lift the eyes, lift the heart, lift the arms to the sky. Exhaling, hands to the sides. Hopefully you feel the heart going a little bit faster. You feel the temperature's lifted a bit. Maybe the breath is coming a bit faster. Hopefully they're feeling a bit more open in your body right now. So let's do a forward fold. So your feet just a bit wider than hip distance. So the outside of your feet not parallel with the outside of the hips. Then take hands onto the hips. Bend those knees. Oh, don't know if you heard that. There's like bullets going off in my knees and click, 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 click. Bend the knees. From your hip bones, push your bum back. Bring your chest forward. We're going to hold it here for a moment, so you can take the hands on the thighs, or you can just take hold behind the knees. We've got long spine. Imagine your tailbone is lifting up and back, and someone is pulling you forward from the crown of your head. Okay, remember, if you have unmedicated high blood pressure, or you have any eye-related conditions such as glaucoma, you might want to stay here. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to lower the belly, ribs and chest to the thighs. Slide these hands down to take hold of the ankles. Those elbows are into the outside of the knees. Relax the neck. Your inhale, try to lift your bum a little bit higher. Your exhale, bend your elbows a bit deeper. Now notice how bent my knees are. My hamstrings are quite tight, so I'm not trying to get straight legs here. I'm trying to really lengthen through the spine and the hamstrings. I'm really feeling this at the top part of my hamstrings. My bum is lifted high. I've got connection, the belly and the ribs against the chest. My head is low. So you can work on here. Every inhale, press into the floor with those feet. See if you can lift the bum higher. Might not move. You might be at your maximum. Your exhale, you bend your elbows towards the back of your mat, drawing your chest a little bit closer towards your thighs. Next inhale, we're going to come up. Make sure that belly is active. Your inhale, you lift your head and chest back to this halfway position. Exhaling, hands to the hips. Inhaling, that belly is in, your knees are soft. You push into the feet to come all the way to the top. Oh. So, from here into our balance, our tree pose. So, find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. You've got a little space between the feet. Remember your hip bones, thigh bones, right down into the centre toes. Feel the weight even in both feet. Lift up through the pelvic floor. Zip up the belly from pubic bone to lower ribs. Lower ribs coming down and in. So we don't want those lower ribs coming out. We want to suck them down and in. Nice and broad across the chest. We're going to shift the weight into your left foot. So take and weight to that left foot. Come up onto your right tippy toes. Turn that right knee out to the side. So you feel a little open in this right hip. This might be where your balance is today. This might be exactly where you're going to stay. Or you take the sole of that right foot into the inside of your left leg, your left ankle. That big toe might still be on the floor. Okay, to leave it there if you feel really unsteady today, and really focus on opening the hip and engaging up through the body, lengthening the spine. If you feel a bit more stable, that foot is going to slide up maybe to the calf, or it may come above the knee to the upper leg. So you don't want to press on the inside of the knee joint. Your foot comes to the calf or above the knee, not on the knee joint. If your right hip is lifted up here, which often happens, you're going to lower that right hip down. So hips are level, hands together. So we're still focusing on opening the right knee, pressing down into the floor with that left foot, zipping up pelvic floor all the way up to the rib cage, and inhaling to lift those arms up overhead. As we lift up, we don't want these shoulders coming up to the ears. You don't want to lose your neck. So you're going to draw those shoulders down away from the ears, so we've got a little space. And also as we lift up, we don't want this rib cage to pop up and open. So stay active, upper abdominals. If you can get hands together to touch, we're pressing heels at the hands together and fingertips. So we've got a lot going on here. That standing leg is going to be working hard. You might feel a little tremble in there. All those muscles are working. You've got opening up in that right hip. You've got lengthening of the spine. And you've got these big muscles working underneath the shoulders, drawing those shoulders down. And we're breathing. Relax the jaw, relax the tongue. Bring those hands down to the heart. Release the hands. Release this right foot down to the floor. Okay, over to the other side. So find your center point of gravity first. And then a little shift into that right foot. So you'll find one side is easier to balance than the other side. Up onto those left tippy toes. Left knee out to the side. So my left hip doesn't open as much as my right hip. It's not going to come quite as far out. So that's just the way my hips are. So just notice any differences between your left and right side. Taking the sole of this left foot anywhere to the inside of that right leg. Might be by the ankle, it might be by the calf. You might be able to bring it up to the top of the leg. And then drop this left hip down so that your hips are level. Pelvic floor lifting, belly in, rib cage down. Going to keep those lower ribs tucked down, hands together. Inhale to lift up. So with your palms together, if you're finding any pinching or pain in your neck or the top of your shoulders, take those hands apart or bring them a bit lower in front of the face rather than your inner arms by your ears. But if you can, shoulders are drawing down away from your ears and your inner arms are squeezing towards your ears, your hands together, your forearms squeezing towards each other, and really feel this posture from your toes right up to your fingers. Everything between is active and working in its own way. Bum muscles are switched on. These your stabilizer muscles are going to help you balance. If you take them off, you're going to fall over, like taking stabilizers off a kiddie's bike before they're ready to go on two wheels. And hands to the heart. Release the hands. Release that leg. Oh. Take a wide step out. So nice wide step. Turn your right toes out towards the short end of your mat. Left toes turning in the same direction. And alignment here, your right heel should be in the instep of your left foot. Okay. Hips are level. So don't want one hip up, hips are level. And rib cage and chest facing forward. Rib cage, chest, shoulders facing that long edge of the mat. Take your arms up, shoulder height, push through those fingertips, trying to reach for either side of the room. Start to slide your left hip out to the left. So you start to crease into that right hip, and then you might feel a stretch on the inside of that right thigh. Remember, we're not bringing shoulders in front of the hips. Imagine that wall behind. We've done a wall class before. Our shoulder blades are staying against that wall. We're not pushing the bum out behind. Reach to the right. Reach, reach, reach. Your chest should still be facing forward, not down to the floor. And then take your right hand to your thigh or down towards the floor. Take your left hand up to the sky. Inhale here, reach through both fingers, both hands. Exhale, you may be able to come a little bit deeper. Pelvic floor lifting, belly in, rib cages in, like you're doing a crunchy sit-up. And rotate the ribs and the heart towards the sky. Now here, I always see a lot of people throw their upper arm back. This is just going to stretch the shoulder. This is not going to rotate through the waist. So imagine this left hand, you're pressing into a wall in front of you. So that palm is pressing forward. This is going to activate and stabilize the shoulder as you turn your ribs and heart up to face up. Okay, on your next inhale, make sure that belly is active and drawing in. Come all the way up. Hands down, toes forward. Come the other way. So left toes out, right heel pushing away, toes turning in, and bring that rib cage and shoulders to face the center, the long edge of your mat. Arms out, reach through the fingers, start to slide this right hip out to the side. Keep the shoulders back, don't push the bum away. So your bum is tucked under, shoulders in line with the hips. Moving on the same plane. Left arm down, right arm up, zip up, roll rib cage and chest up. Inhale, exhale, maybe a little bit deeper. So again, the same here. Imagine you're pushing that right hand into a wall in front of you as you roll your rib cage and heart up towards that hand, towards the ceiling. Few breaths. Weight is even through both feet, legs are active. Pelvic floor is still in and up. And inhale to come all the way up. Arms down, feet parallel. Step these feet together. And turn again to face the short edge of your mat. Okay. Hands on the hips. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart. And we're going to sit down into an invisible chair behind you. So you bend the knees, you lower the bum. And look, this often happens. Tailbone's coming up. You don't want the tailbone to come up, you want it to shoot down. So again, these lower ribs, you're drawing them down and in. Spine stays nice and long. Lift those arms in front. Few breaths here, chair pose. Your weight is going to be mainly into your heels. Maybe like 60% of your weight into your heels, 40 into the front of your feet. Or it may be more like 70-30. Few breaths here. Shoulders down away from the ears. Feel the warmth in the thighs. Lifting the pelvic floor. Next exhale. Fold all the way forward. Chest over the thighs. Take hold of the elbows. And just take a few breaths here. Just let everything be floppy. And bringing the hands. We're going to come up to the floor to sit on the bum. Dandasana, staff pose. Simple pose. It's a lot of hard work. So if you do this pose correctly, it should feel quite challenging. So remember, tight hamstrings, tight lower back. If you're sitting like this, put yourself on a cushion, a folded up blanket or a block. Now you don't want this to happen. Lift up and straight. So let's start with the toes. Toes coming towards the shins. And push the soles of your feet into a wall. Your heels, though, stay on the floor. You don't want to float on the floor, so the back of your heels stay down. Legs are out, soles, the front of the shins. Thighs are active. Pelvic floor lifting up It's funny when we're in class and I see people do this, it's like everyone almost lifts off their mat. So feel like you're trying to lift yourself up off your mat. Feel those sit bones grounding into the floor, connection. Hands down next to the hips. So if you've brought yourself onto quite a high block, you may not be able to touch the floor here. So imagine you're pushing down into the floor. Your fingers are slightly spread. So in yoga, we involve the whole of the body, not just part of it. So feel the posture from your toes to your fingertips. Rib cage, again, drop it down. So we don't want to arch the back. Everything is active. Spine is long, lifting up through the crown of the head. We don't want the chin to lift up and have this crease in the neck. I'm going to bring the chin parallel, so neck is long. Everything is active. Feet are flexed, legs are active, pelvic floor is engaged, squeeze. Abdominals active, shoulders down. If this doesn't get you hot, there's something that's not activating there. We've got our Mula Bandha on there, our pelvic floor. We've got our other bandha on in the neck here. So we've got like 3 bandhas that they're called internal energy locks. Pelvic floor, solar throat. Energy is heat. So when we lock in that energy, we create heat. But you can still breathe in and out through the nose. And then keeping this nice long spine, I'm going to start to walk the hands forward towards the knees. Your spine pressing forward to the front of your body, so we're not going to start to let this happen. Pressing the spine forward towards the sternum, towards the breastbone. Belly still active, pelvic floor is still engaging. We walk the hands a little bit further forward. Now as soon as you feel this start to happen, you're going to bring it back a little bit and straighten up a bit. So it might be that your hands are on your shins and this is where you're going to stay. You may be able to come a little bit further. There will start to be some slight arching in the spine, but we don't want to round it back. We're not trying to get head to knees. Move that spine forward, come towards the toes. Forward folding has been a huge challenge of mine. It's something I've always struggled with, because I'm just not a natural forward folder. So I've really had to work with getting the most out of this posture and not rushing it and losing the alignment and the engagement just to get my head down. Getting your head to your knees is not the goal. You want to think more about getting your nose towards your toes. You want to think about the length in the spine. It's Paschimottanasana. It means stretch of the west side of the body, which is the back of the body. So the whole of the back of the body. Breathing nice and deep in and out through the nose. Next inhale, we start to lift the chest. Remember, belly is in. You want to protect your back by engaging the belly. And then take the hands behind the hips. Feet to the floor. So it's our counter pose to our forward fold. So your wrists under your shoulders, feet hip width apart. Going to push into the feet, push into the hands. Bum lifts off the floor. And then we start to push the knees forward so they're in line with the ankles. And we lift the hips, we lift the thighs, we lift the ribs and roll those shoulders back. Imagine trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together. So here, you can relax your head back if it feels okay on your neck. My personal preference, this is okay when I get all the way back, but I don't like the feel when I have to lift it up again. So my personal preference is to keep my chin down, looking towards my knees. That is just my personal preference. The full posture is with the head dropping back, gaze towards the sky. Pushing into the hands, pushing into the feet. Few breaths. I'm going to try and get this nice flat table. And bring the bum down to the floor. Oh, release the hands. Give the wrists a little rotation if you're feeling that in the wrists. I know there's a lot of people struggle with weight on the wrists, so please always be careful and adapt where you need to. So coming onto the fists is also a good option there. Bringing the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Sometimes called. Again, we want long spine. So I'm going to just turn side on. I want this. So if you need your blocks or your cushion to lengthen through the lower back, please do. Hands are going to come behind. I've got my thumbs touching the back of my buttocks here. I'm going to press down into the floor and lift the spine. This might be where you are. You might stay here. This might feel like a huge challenge to you. You might feel a big opening in the hips. You might feel a stretch along the spine. Remember, if it's not good on the fingertips, you can make fists, push down into the knuckles, lengthen the spine. That might be where you're going to stay right now. If you can keep this length of the spine by taking hold of your shins or your ankles, please do so. Come in here. And then you're going to take hold of the inside of your feet. So remember, find your place. You don't have to do these other stages. Remember to find the place that your body feels good in, that you feel like you're working. Don't lose your alignment just to get into the next posture. I'm going to take hold of the feet, turn the soles of the feet up to the sky like you're opening up a book. Notice how this drops the knees closer towards the floor. So there's little action in the feet causes a big reaction in the hips. So soles of your feet are up, shoulders are back and down. I'm going to start to fold forward. So folding from this hip crease. Again, don't lose your belly button back towards your spine. Your spine is pressing forward towards your belly button, towards your sternum. Start to fold forward. So imagine you're trying to bring your belly down to your feet first, then your rib cage, then your chest, and then your chin to the floor. That's the order it should touch in. So if you think that your head is going to touch the floor before your belly, come back up a little bit, press that spine forward, take the shoulders back. A few breaths. So you might feel this in the back of the hips, you might feel it in the hip flexors and the groin, maybe in the adductors and the inside of the thighs. Or it might feel really comfortable for you. You might be able to stay there like forever. Just feel and enjoy and breathe. Next, inhale, pelvic floor up, belly in, lift the head, lift the chest, release the hands, bring those knees together. And we're going to come into our so few options here for you. So if you're going to keep that left leg out straight. If the knees feel healthy, of the knees, we're going to bring this left foot underneath the right hip. Yeah, that's right, underneath the right hip. So your left knee is facing straight down towards the centre of your mat, straight down towards the top. So it's not out to the side. I'm going to bring that foot all the way around. So I'm actually resting my right bum cheek on that heel there. And then your right foot is going to come to the outside and top of your left knee. Okay, we don't want it close, we're not squeezing it in. It's up to the top there, just at the top of the kneecap. We lift up nice and tall. If you're toppling over to the left side here, grab your block, your cushion, your blanket, and just place it under that left bum cheek, just to get your balance nice and even. You don't want to be falling over to the side. The spine is long. I'm going to take that right hand to the back and lift that left hand up to the sky, reach the sky. So this is the same if you've got that left leg out straight, following the same action drive. Turning from your waist, turn to the right. So you twist from your waist, not from your hips. Waist, ribs, chest, shoulders, turning to the right, and then dropping that left elbow down over that right knee. This is we might stay. So you've got this little counter here, so your left elbow pressing into that right thigh. Right, it's going to give you that little traction you need to rotate a little bit further. So belly is in, lengthen the spine with that inhale. Exhale, we twist a little bit deeper. Maybe on the neck, we can shoulder. And lifting up through the top of the head. Few breaths. And slowly release, releasing the head and neck first. Release the shoulders, the chest, the ribs, the waist. Release this right leg and the left leg. It's great. So we're going to come the opposite direction now. So your right foot comes underneath that left leg. So you're kind of moving onto that right hip a little bit. But remember, if you start to topple, if you can't take this hand away without falling on the floor, you need to come up to centre. You need to have something under. So this would be great for that. Just underneath that right hip, just so you're not falling over. Okay. So remember, if the knees are causing you a problem, you don't want to push through any resistance in your knees. You don't want to feel any pain in your knees. So that right leg's going to be straight out in front of you. So your left foot coming to the top of your right kneecap. So it's just on the outside and to the top of that kneecap. Inhale. What are we doing? We are taking hold. Left or right? Wrapping that right hand around that left shin. Inhale. Lift up with that left hand. Exhale. Start to twist. So bring that left hand down behind you. Lengthen the spine and twist from your waist, your ribs, your chest, your shoulders, and up into your neck if that feels okay to look over your shoulder. So again, oh, that's what we did. I completely lost it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I knew I was confused. We had the right arm lifted and that elbow over the knee, didn't we? I'm so sorry. So your right elbow is on the outside of your left thigh or your left knee. So we've got that resistance there. And the arm is pressing into the leg is pressing into the arm. That is going to help give you that nice little twist. Waist, ribs, chest, shoulders, and the neck. Completely lost all train of thought then. So just feeling this twist from your waist upwards. So your hips are stable. You're lengthening through the spine, lifting up through the crown of the head. And every exhale, maybe we can twist a little deeper. And slowly releasing the head and neck, the shoulders, the chest, the ribs, the waist, all the way back to centre. Release those legs. Come down for your Shavasana. If you're going to take a relaxation right now, please do so. So just let the legs and the arms relax down onto the floor. If you're going to finish with me now, bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. Spine is long. Oh look, Dave Jones has been on. He's in Australia. So we've got people following from New Zealand, Australia, all over Europe. That's so nice. Take the hands together. Inhale, down, out and up. Exhale, bring those hands down behind you. Take hold of one wrist with the opposite hand. Let the head and shoulders bow down towards the floor. Take your moments of gratitude first and foremost to yourself for all that you are and all that you have. To your yoga practice. Space in your mind. and to someone or something in your life that you feel grateful for today. Few blinks to open the eyes, lift the head and chest, release the hands, bring the palms together. Thank you all so much for joining me on day 36 of our lockdown yoga. Hope you enjoyed this full spectrum to get a little bit of everything in today. The only thing we haven't really done today is an inversion, although inversions do come in downward dogs. But we've not done a shoulder stand in our practice yet, so maybe a shoulder stand is going to come one day soon. So enjoy your day, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, one step closer to freedom. Namaste, thank you.